This is Chilopsis linearis, desert willow or desert catalpa. And as you can see here, it's a nice flowering tree during the summer. And what's nice about that is the timing. A lot of your flowering trees especially are flowering, especially deciduous trees, do a heavy spring bloom. And the nice thing about this one is it's a summer bloom, midsummer during the heat of summer, and also it's an extended bloom time. A lot of these spring flowering plants are only a couple of weeks, and this one will bloom for a couple of months. So this is taken in July, and these will still be blooming during August. So really attractive pink flowers. There are a number of different flower colors and the different varieties you can buy of this tree, but this is kind of a standard pink flower, and as you can see, there's a lot of them in multiple clusters borne on the ends of the branching. The other thing I like about this tree is that it's not too big. A lot of the trees that we have to choose from get quite large, and for residential use, which is where I do most of my work, I like the fact that this is a 15 to 30 foot high tree. The one you're looking at, I would say, is 15 to 18 feet wide by about the same height. And those trees that you're looking at on the street there, being used as a street tree, they are about 8 years old in this picture, just to give you a sense of how long it takes them to get to that size. And they were planted from 15-gallon containers, so about 8 years ago. Interesting leaf. It's kind of lanceolate or elongated, and but still a nice medium green there, and shows off the flowers nicely. The roots are not a problem, given that these are native to the desert areas of California to Texas and Arizona and New Mexico, those areas. I'm sure they're deep rooted and able to find water down deeper, which makes them quite drought resistant as well. That said, these are growing in a lawn strip, so they're still tolerant of more regular water, and still able to not have a root issue when they're given shallower water. So in terms of design, what I like about them is their flowering during the summer, and also again their size. Even though these do bloom profusely, they don't create quite the mess of something like a mimosa or an albizia tree might do. The flowers shrivel up, and there's just not quite the mess. So I don't mind these used the way they are here. Although anytime you're using something that drops some kind of a mess, where you use them should be something you consider. If they're going to be a nuisance because they attract bees or something like that when they're blooming, you certainly don't want to put them over a patio where you're going to be having dinner on a regular basis. So that's something I would be considering when I'm deciding where I might want to use this. But in the back of the garden where you want a nice flowering accent for the summer, I think this is a nice choice. I think I mentioned that this is deciduous, but if I didn't, it is deciduous. It's one of the earlier trees to drop its leaves, and then during the winter, these flowers become a seed pod that kind of is longer, like a carob or a catalpa seed. So they can be a bit unsightly during the summer. There's a number of trees that do that, bloom and then leave some seeds behind. So I don't have a picture of that, unfortunately. But in reading about it, that can be one of the issues with this one. But you know, I've seen this area when these trees are bare during the winter, and I've never noticed them as standing out as being that unsightly. And a lot of times that varies depending on the variety of the plant that you're using, so that may be the case with this one too. I can't honestly say. So that's what I can tell you about Chilopsis linearis, desert willow or desert catalpa. A nice, smaller, deciduous flowering tree during the summer, and nice tree. I think, you know, also being able to use that in lawn. There aren't a lot of trees that won't end up being shallow rooted and give you a problem in a lawn, and this is one that is okay in that regard.